Hello everyone, this is Corner Gemstone. Corner Gemstone is a space created for teachers all around the world to help them teach with confidence and rule with finesse. The first subject we're going to cover in this video is get the knack of first week of school. I know this topic would be stressful for some teachers, that's why we're going to break it down in this video. The first tip is review your scope and sequence or the objectives overview, and it looks something like this. Usually this scope and sequence is created by teachers and HODs together. You can see the distribution of the objectives throughout the academic year. Now the first helpful tip is to use the reflection section from the previous year to help you change, omit, or add any objectives. Now, each teacher should have in her lesson plan the reflection section included, okay? And why is it there? To help us change or reorganize or add the objectives that we missed previously, or maybe to postpone these objectives for later through the academic year because the objectives were so complicated, etc. After going to the reflection section and studying it, you need to reorganize and edit your scope and sequence according to the new academic year needs. Tip number 2, go back to your archive. So every teacher has to have an archive. How to make our archive bulletproof, or how can we make use of it? First of all, we need to organize our archive very well. We have to label it. We have to relate each objective to a certain part of the archive. An archive has to be clutter-free. Okay, so for example, I'm an English language teacher. I know that in the English language, we have a lot of different skills, grammar skills, vocabulary skills, phonics, spelling, etc. Each skill has to have a separate file in this archive, and each skill has to have different partitions. For example, one partition for the instructional aids, another one for hands-on activities, another one for assessment, for example, another one for homework and classwork. And you have to know that at the beginning of every academic year, you have to renew your archive, okay? If you have extra worksheets that you've never used before, you can remove them from this archive and put them in a separate file where the students can see them and they can use them as a golden time sheet, for example. Archives, of course, can be soft copy and hard copy. I recommend having both, and I recommend having plan B where you can put or save all of your materials in an external drive just to keep them safe. Tip number 3, prepare your displays. Now here comes the fun part. Displays can be core subject instructional aids, school regulation and policies, weekly focus wall, classroom delegates or helpers, encouraging mantras, reading corners, and you can make it cozy and you can use your creativity. There's no limit when it comes to classroom displays. These are some suggestions where you can use all the facilities in the classroom to organize your activities. And please keep in mind, no need to have sophisticated or fancy tools in your classroom. You can go so humble and so simple, like these ice cube trays that I used as Montessori activities. And these are some stress balls. There are some tubes and flasks and cups for mixing colors, etc. And you can use also tweezer. You can use pom-poms, like in this activity over here. I use the numbers and the pom-poms. They have to match the number with the value of the pom-poms, etc. This is the recreation tent corner where students can go and unwind there in this tent and they can play or relax or even take a nap. This is a pre-writing independent corner. It's so helpful to have it in the classroom. We can elaborate on this subject later on in different videos. This is also a pre-writing independent chart, and we have some examples of door decorations, Decorations, you can use whatever you want, whatever design you are deciding to use. Like during the COVID-19, I applied this, or I displayed this as social distancing, distance greeting. Then once we were discussing the kind friend and how not to be bully and how to be kind to others, so I used this one, etc. Just go creative and use your imagination and just get ready. Rules and regulation charts, safety procedure charts. Some other suggestions are how to build your focus wall. There could be focus wall for all the subjects together: English, math, science, social studies, etc. Or each language will have a separate focus wall, but this needs a huge classroom. Okay, if you're going to put each language separately or each subject separately. Subject related charts. Now, of course, you cannot display all of the charts for all the subjects you're going to cover from the first week, but it's always good to start with one or two charts ahead of time, like prepare them and keep them ready in your archive so you can later on display them. And this is where the archive comes handy for all teachers, is that you prepare your displays, and later on when you're done with them, you can save them in a safe place where you can reuse them again. Of course, you will start the first week, you're going to display the classroom helpers and how are you going to choose the classroom helpers, etc. And some encouraging charts or encouraging mantras, like how to think, how to act in classroom, or like mistakes are expected, respected, inspected, and corrected, etc. There are a lot of amazing ideas online that you can use in your classroom. Tip number 3, prepare your first week activities. In other words, prepare your icebreakers, and there are hundreds of awesome icebreakers online. Choose what suits you and suits your age group. This one, for example, first day of school pictures. I usually do this in day 1. I prepare a banner like that and I ask each students to hold it and smile, and we take pictures, and later on I send these pictures to their parents, and then I print them out and I display them in a very creative way on a chart, and I stick it outside the classroom so they can feel welcomed and they can feel like a part of the family when they see themselves displayed outside the classroom and everyone can see them, and oh, the student is in this classroom. They will feel that this feeling of belonging. Introduce themselves. Now, there are tens and hundreds of introducing yourself activities online, but this is a cute one. You hand each student a white paper. They will fold it and you will ask them to write their names in an artistic way. You'll ask them to draw their favorite food, their hobbies, favorite place, favorite shape, etc. And then you'll ask them to display the paper on their desks, okay? Another activity, which is find someone who, or bingo. There are a lot of forms online. I'll try to attach some links in the description box down below. You'll distribute the bingo papers. You'll give them the freedom to move around the classroom, to visit each and every friend. And I recommend you playing with them. It's going to be more fun than them playing on their own. And then they'll go around the classroom to collect signatures from friends. Let's say find a friend who've been, let's say, to Italy, or find a friend who went to the beach this summer, or find a friend who learned a new, who played a new sport in the summer, etc. Another activity usually done the first day of school, which is first day survival kit giveaway. First of all, you'll type your own survival kit brochure that you like or prefer. Then you'll prepare all of these goodies that you're going to put inside. You'll pack them in a bag of your choice, and then you'll give them to your students and explain the reason why you chose these specific goodies for them. More first week activities, for example, auto suggestion. This is a new activity that I'm personally using it with myself at home. Um, each month, I choose a big goal to achieve and I give myself a date. Like, for example, I'm going to enhance my teaching skills by the end of August, for example. Then I would write the plan of how am I going to achieve this goal. So you're going to explain this process for your students. You'll tell them what is your goal, let's say this year. What are you trying to achieve at the end of year 3, for example? And what is the plan you're going to follow? Okay. Now, some of the students will feel that this is silly or this is outrageous, but be specific and insist and be consistent on making all of them write their goal, their huge or big goal or main goal, on a piece of paper where they can see it in front of them every day. They can stick it on their desk, or you can prepare a chart at the end of the class, back of the class, where they can read it every day twice, once they come in and put their channel book and their homework, and once before going back home. So they will write their goal and their plan, how they're going to achieve this main goal. Another activity is interviewing a friend. Okay, there are a lot of forms online, and I can also include the link in the description box for some of these friendly interviews. Another activity is the wall walk. Okay, so you prepared all of your displays and you've did a great job. But what if you just hang them on the wall and the kids just didn't understand what are these or why are they displayed? So take them on a tour around the classroom, explain to them what are these displays and how we're going to use them throughout this academic year. After that, you can take a tour around the school premises, introduce them to the canteen, to the playground, to the squash, let's say, court, to the swimming pool, to the nurse, to the lost and found area, to the school counselor, etc. Make them familiar with your class routines, merit chart, and reward system. This is a must. And there is another video that discusses the classroom management, and we will go through these points in details or in depth. Okay, so you have to make use of the first week of school, not to start with your curriculum directly. No, build the relationship of trust and build boundaries from the beginning of the week, from day one, and tell them what are your expectations. Finally, set the rules and respect the pack. Decide on what the classroom rules should be with them. Make them leave their fingerprints on the rules chart. Now there are some teachers who just skip this step because they don't want the chaos. They just believe that their students would just choose whatever rules that suit them or serve them. But there are some other confident teachers who say, no, I can do it and I own it. And they just create their classroom rules with their students. Now, there are some rules you need to follow while creating the classroom rules with their students. We can go in depth in another video later on. Always remember that leaders are lifelong learners. Do not say that, no, I have all the knowledge and I don't need to learn. That's it. I'm done. Embrace mistakes and use them as opportunities for new learning experiences, whether your mistakes or the student's mistakes. And don't show them embarrassment when you do something wrong. No, confess and tell them, oh, see, everyone does mistakes. And I did this mistake, and sorry for that, but we can fix it. Okay? And when they do mistakes, when you confess that you did your own mistakes, they will feel confident about talking about their mistakes and pointing them out. Okay? So model how you're being a lifelong learner and model for them or in front of them how to, yes, say, I did a mistake, but I can fix that because I'm still learning. And then have fun with your students. Don't be that rigid robot who's always frowning and so serious. Putting boundaries doesn't mean that you have to be mean or you have to be so strict. Okay? Assertiveness doesn't necessarily mean means being mean or hard or strict. Okay? And finally, reach out for help. If you need some help, there are colleagues, there are online platforms that can help you by giving you ideas and some solutions in your classroom. There are some helpful links. They're going to be listed in the description box down below. I hope that this video was helpful and beneficial for you teachers. Please suggest future video subjects. If you feel that there's any subject that you need me to tackle or discuss, feel free to do that. Spread the knowledge, leave a comment, and hit like. Thanks for watching. This is Corner Gemstone.